What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and stimulus checks are back on the table. We're hearing about fourth federal level stimulus checks of $1,000 to go out to everybody in the nation. We're also hearing about a call for reoccurring monthly gas stimulus checks to go out to everybody in the nation. And also, I've got updates for you on state, county, and city stimulus checks, many of which have been passed and approved and are coming your way. And also, what about those on SSI and SSDI? Well, you guys, I've got a ton of updates for you. Gonna get you caught up on the latest, as this is all being brought back to the forefront right now as we're getting closer to those midterm elections. And this is your stimulus check update. Now, first up, you guys, take a look at this. As you know, I link all of my articles so you can see them for yourself. I put them on the screen and read right from it so you know it's the latest updates. Stimulus updates to know in spring of 2022. This list is going to be covering some of the states sending out checks very soon. Now, also, this list does not cover them all here on the channel. I do a ton of research to make sure you know the latest. And take a look at this. Also, $800 stimulus check going out in Colorado. I'm going to let you know who exactly qualifies. Also, stimulus. $500 refund supported for Missouri residents as well. So another one in Missouri. And take a look at this, one of the largest we've seen so far. Wolf, community leaders seek $2,000 payments for Pennsylvania. And that is right, we heard him propose $2,000 checks. Well, he is sticking with it, saying we've got a ton of excess funds. Send it out to the people of Pennsylvania. Make sure they've got money. $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, also, those on SSI, SSDI, a lot of them are wondering, when are we going to be receiving some form of additional benefits? Well, take a look at this article, you guys. Social Security payments need to be $540 more today to equal the value that they received in the year 2000. And they're saying we need to bump it up significantly with everything going on with inflation. And a lot of people have been asking about this for quite some time. As take a look, you guys, this is back in 2020 in March. Schumer, Warren, and Wyden, they unveiled a plan to increase benefits by $200 per month for those on Social Security benefits, and that never came to fruition. And that was one of the things that Biden ran his campaign on, supporting the call for an additional $200 per month. And a lot of people are saying, we never saw that benefit come to pass. Now, that's not the only thing. As you guys know, fourth federal level stimulus checks of $2,000. Take a look. Critics say that Biden's pandemic relief plan broke his promise of $2,000 stimulus checks. He had said there was going to be those checks coming, and then when it came to pass, it was $1,400 third checks. And a lot of people are saying, what about those $2,000 checks? Well, now, about a year later, we're hearing that they are back on the table for consideration right before the midterm elections. So you guys, if you want to know the latest about what's happening with the federal fourth check of $1,000, take a look at my last video that I did. I did an update for you. This all has rolled out in about the last week or so, and I give you all the information as to where things stand with that, as we're hearing they're taking into consideration fourth checks before the elections. Now, also, you guys, wanted to mention the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. If you're interested in learning about growing wealth and personal finance right now, as we have economic turmoil all across the world, and we're hearing that upon the horizon, things are not going to be getting better. If you want to learn about money and how to help your financial situation for you and your family, consider joining my second channel. I provide information that I've learned over the years that have helped me and my family. I will pin a link down below in the comments. You can click it, go subscribe, turn on notifications. I've got several videos where I share information that I have received over the years from multimillionaires. I pray that it is a blessing to you. But also, if you appreciate the content here on this channel, keeping you up to speed on economic news and stimulus checks, don't forget to take a quick second to smash that like button for me. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave your comments down below. Share this out if you think it could help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, totally free, why not? Come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. All you got to do is simply click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. So as soon as I do updates, you can be notified right away. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into the latest on stimulus. All right, you guys. So first up, link in the description below to this article that came out that says Wolf, community leaders seek $2,000 payments for Pennsylvanians. And this This is the second largest stimulus check for a state that we have seen so far, only beat by Alaska that has suggested $5,500 checks. Now, this one says that Governor Tom Wolf, lawmakers, and community leaders are calling on the General Assembly to pass legislation that would send checks of up to $2,000 to millions of Pennsylvanians. Now, earlier this year, Wolf unveiled a $1.7 billion proposal aimed at helping communities recover from the pandemic through the American Rescue Plan dollars. And yes, that American Rescue Plan, the last stimulus package from March of 2021, there were $350 billion worth of funds for states to use. And now, over a year later, states are finally taking that money and they're passing stimulus packages. And as you can see here, in many cases, their own stimulus checks. Now, part of that plan included $500 million Pennsylvania Opportunity Program, which would provide direct payments for households with an income of $80,000 or less. So that is the income eligibility requirement. And Wolf said that with inflation climbing, more Pennsylvanians are experiencing financial insecurity. And we're hearing that inflation doesn't look like it's going to be stopping anytime soon, which is why Congress is taking into consideration more stimulus. Now, next article, link in the description below, $500 refund supported for Missouri residents. New stimulus tax rebate plan supported by the Senate in Missouri could bring residents checks worth $500 per person. Now, who is going to be eligible for this refund? Well, individuals earning under $150,000 or married couples making less than $300,000 will qualify. Individuals will see payments worth $500, while married couples will see $1,000 checks. Refunds may be prorated to stay under a $500 million cap. So that is the amount allocated for this benefit. Now, also, link in the description below to this next one. $800 stimulus check going out in Colorado. Who qualifies? Well, Colorado tax filers will receive a $800 stimulus check this year. Colorado residents could find an $800 check in the mail by late summer, thanks to the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, or TABOR. The plan was announced in late April by the state legislature. Now, listen to this. Every taxpayer in the state will receive a stimulus check refund, but that doesn't mean that citizens will receive it every single year. The checks are only going to be handed out when the state has a budget surplus and there is no reasonable way of spending the money to improve public services. So right now, this is due to the fact that the state has an excess of funds and they're going to be sending it out to residents. And there is no income threshold that determines who does or does not receive a check, nor is there a sliding scale that changes the value of the check depending on income. So everybody in the state will receive this, and recipients must also be full-time residents in the state of Colorado. Now, let's dive into this Yahoo Finance article that's going to be covering an assortment of different states that have either passed or are in the process of passing stimulus checks. And first up, we have California. The state of California has run a surplus for the past 2 years, and residents have benefited from it. And we've heard of the Golden State stimulus checks that have gone out. Now we're also hearing of state gas stimulus checks, where you could receive $400 per registered vehicle for up to 2 vehicles, meaning $800 per person. Also, Illinois is also providing a stimulus check. Democrats in Illinois are proposing stimulus checks that would arrive in residents' mailboxes by September, amounting to $100 per person and $50 per child per household. The proposal would also provide $300 in property tax relief checks as well. So, different checks happening in Illinois. Idaho. Residents in Idaho will get rebate checks or direct deposits amounting to the greater of 12% of their 2020 taxes, or $75. Maine. The governor of Maine, Janet Mills, has proposed sending state resident stimulus checks of $850. The money will come from the state's $682 million surplus, just like Colorado. New Mexico residents who file joint returns and have an income under $150,000 will receive a one-time tax rebate of $500. Single filers with an income of under $75,000 a year are going to be eligible for $250 rebates, and other credits include $1,000 for full-time hospital nurses, a refundable child tax credit of $175 per child, a 3-year partial income tax exemption for military retirees, and an extension of the solar market tax credit equal to 10% of qualifying purchases and installation costs. So a ton of stimulus provisions happening in New Mexico. Indiana lawmakers approved an extension of the state's $125 stimulus payment to residents to make about 450,000 low-income residents also eligible as well. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp recently recently signed a stimulus payment for Georgia residents into law. These one-time refunds would provide $250 for single taxpayers and for $375 for heads of household and $500 for joint filers. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has proposed sending $500 stimulus checks to low-earning taxpayers who filed using a tax identification number rather than Social Security numbers in an effort to include undocumented immigrants for stimulus checks. Virginia legislators are hashing out the details of a potential $300 stimulus check for taxpayers as well. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has proposed property tax rebates ranging from about $425 to $975 for low and middle income households in the state. In addition, other actions including tax relief for businesses. The state is also implementing a suspension of the state tax on motor fuel through December. And Hawaii, in January, Governor David Eagle proposed a $100 refund for all taxpayers and dependents in April, and the Hawaii House Committee of Finance upped the ante, approving $300 checks for taxpayers earning less than $100,000 and $100 for those making more than that. So those are some of the states right now that have either approved or are in the process of providing new stimulus checks on a state level. So there you have it, you guys. A lot going on right now in Congress, and as I mentioned, a lot of this is being sparked by the fact that we're in the middle of a midterm election year, and we're going to be seeing how Congress responds to everything going on. And as they do, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. Free, just takes a moment. Why not? Come join the Ram fam. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. Just hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3, and consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.